Welcome back, everybody. Mudford and Jeremiah here. Last time we went to the off-road park, we had a little bit of a steering problem. Your steering has a rag joint up by the column. That's stock on a lot of older vehicles. It has a rubber joint in there instead of a U-joint. And we had some problems. We stalled on a hill and were reefing on it with no power steering. And the rubber rag joint broke and bent this up a little bit. You can see it's pretty shiny in there. And the rest of it's gone. It actually, we had pulled it apart on the trail and it ended up in somebody else's vehicle. But this hooks right onto the bottom side of the column. So what we're doing now is we took all that off and we're just to the splines now. So there's the splines on the column and there's the splines on the steering box. So I ordered 2 U-joints from Summit Racing and a steering shaft, but this is cut to fit. So this is the right size that bolts onto the, or slides onto the steering box. So I put this one on the shaft and I put this down on. It's too hard to see down in there. But I put this on right where I wanted it, and then I put the other U-joint on the column where I wanted it, and then I held them up together and made a mark. And I had the steering shaft somewhat in the middle, and I held it up where I wanted it, and then I made a mark where I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to cut it now, and then I'm also going to drill dimples in it. I'll show you what those are for. Your set screws are going to go in there and hit that on the shaft, but they won't be able to bite in if it's just a flat shaft. So you want to drill, just start a drill bit and make a dimple and give the set screw something to bite into so it won't slip. This shaft is what's called double D. This is the best shaft, steering shaft. It's called double D because you can see there's a D there and then a backwards D there. So it's not going to slip or anything. And you can slide those U-joints on. You don't have to weld them and heat up the shaft and heat up where the bearings are and have a chance of ruining the bearings in the U-joint. So I think this is the best. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this now and put it together, and we'll show you how it fits and how it works. Okay, I marked the length of shaft I needed, trimmed it down. I also chamfered the edge, made sure it's real clean. You can see fits on real good. I also drilled this style of U-joint. This is the Borgson. It has a screw that goes through. So I drilled that out. And then on the side, this one has 2. It has a set screw, so I put a dimple for that. So now all I need to do is get everything lined up. And I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite. I'll put it on these threads, put it in, and then tighten it down so that it doesn't come out. I'll do both ends of the shaft and then put it in, and then the set screws that go on the splines, then I'll put those in, Loctite those and put those in after. That'll be the last thing. I'd highly recommend building one of these yourself, custom for your rig, rather than keeping with the stock rag joint. It's just so much stronger, so much less play. But what I wouldn't recommend, Summit Racing had some of these. This was a different brand. It wasn't Borgson. I don't remember what the brand was, and it was only $48, whereas the other one was $75, and I think the shaft was $75. So I thought I was saving a couple bucks, but I don't like this one at all. Looks real nice. It's all shiny, chromed. But here's the problem with it. The tolerances aren't near as good. When I first went to put it on, the steering shaft, it wouldn't fit. I had to go in there and clean it all up with a die grinder to get it where it would actually fit on there. And then the other thing is this end here, their quality control on their splines is just terrible. It fits real loose. The Borgson joint on the other end fits really tight onto the splines. If I had it to do over again, I would buy the Borgson. So here's the receipt from Summit. Steering shaft, $75 basically. That's Borgson. BRG stands for the Borgson. Same with the first U-joint, the good one. It is almost $76. And the crappy U-joint is $49. And we're going to go ahead and install this now. Probably going to have to set this camera down while I do it because this is going to be difficult. Okay, so far so good. I've got the bolt hole lined up right here. And let me try sliding it off just a little bit. Maybe. Well, that didn't go as I wanted. Anyway, I don't know if you can see the dimple is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that set screw in right now. And that way we don't have to worry about this end anymore. This end will be done. Got it. Okay, it started. Okay. Okay, so that's tight. Get on there now. Now if I can only get the nut started. There we go. I'm going to have to use a socket on that one. Okay, that should do it. Now we need to get the other end up in place. Get the length adjusted. And, well, that's the shock bolt. Right there we go. I think the hardest part's going to be this slip yoke moves pretty tough. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that with one hand, so I think I'm going to have to set down the camera. Oh, son of a pup, that light's hot. Okay, we got it on the splines and got the hole there lined up with the dimple in the column shaft. So now all I got to do is Loctite that, put that set screw in, and we'll be ready to roll. might be looking at this thinking, this is out too far. It should be closer to the column up here. But I don't know if I can get the shot or not. But when you look inside through the U-joint, you can see the shaft goes all the way out to the end of the U-joint, so it can't really go in any further anyway. So we're all right. I can't wait to try this out, but need to switch tires first, and I'm not going to do that tonight. But man, this is going to be a lot better. So we got plenty of clearance. Might not look like it there, but there is plenty of clearance there. That's my hydraulic clutch line going down to the bell housing, but there is room, ample room there. And looks great. So I'm really happy with this. We got to the one hill. That's when somebody got out and started doing a little recording, but unfortunately that's where I broke at, so there's only a little bit of footage and it's kind of lame, but I'll throw it in just for giggles anyway.
Yeah.